Welcome to the 2021 Junior Gold Championships here, under 20 girls and boys division. Mike Flanagan, Carolyn Doran-Ballard here with you, and we're looking forward to bringing you the girls event first here. We've got 3 great finalists.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this first match. Again, 2 great talents. One of the things I talked about in the open was you're going to see so many different styles. And again, I think that's so important, especially for the young athletes that are watching. It doesn't matter what type of game you have, as long as you can repeat and you make the best of your ability. And you're going to see that. You're going to see a little more of a power player out of Patricia. You're going to see more of a traditional out of Morgan. But again, they still get the job done.
Yeah, Patricia Rosales, our number 3 seed, taking on Morgan Nunn, our number 2 seed here in our opening match. And of course, our top seed, Brooke Roberts, is down practicing waiting in the wings. CDB, well-supported event. It's so great to see the people back out, able to watch bowling.
And I had said that also. It's nice. I think the kids were really looking forward to getting out.
Champion from Orlando, Florida, Patricia Rosales.
Introduction for Patricia Rosales. Again, we want to just reiterate, you know, she is going for her 2nd Junior Gold back-to-back champions, and the last time that was done in the top division was Stephanie Johnson. She repeated in 03, 04, and 05. So going for a little bit of history here today. She was the 11th seed coming in. Opening shot here, first match.
Great opening shot, stone 9. Hey, the best thing about that is you could tell yourself, I'm lined up.
Yeah, and she throws a powerful strike ball. I talked to her and her family right before we went on the air, and her keys to success are her spare shooting ability, her ball speed, and she has a very mentally strong outlook. Nothing shakes her.
Yep, she, you know, even watching her when she bowled in the SWAC, it was all about just getting the job done. You could see from, you know, her pre-shot routine, getting up and going, wasting no time.
Now here's our first look at Morgan Nunn. Both players are 19 years old in our opening match. Morgan's been bowling for 12 years.
Number 2 seed for our television finals from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Morgan Nunn.
And as you heard, she's from Oklahoma. Morgan bowled great down the stretch today. Very consistent week here. Another great opening shot. And CDB, you've talked about it before, and I know you admire this so much, but everybody we're going to see on today's show, they have great fundamentals.
Excellent fundamentals, and I have said that from the very beginning. If you have good fundamentals, you can add anything to your game. And what you're also going to see out of all 3 ladies is they post every shot. Again, that goes back into good leverage, which is going to help you to repeat your shots.
Two for 2 on the spare shooting. Morgan goes to Indiana Tech University. Her team won the NAIA this year. And she's got some familiar coaches that you know, Pat and Anne-Marie Dugan.
I mentioned that. I remember, like I said, I remember watching her bowl in high school, and she started working with Pat and Anne-Marie. And again, she knew she had the passion for bowling, but she knew there were steps to take. You know, getting a good fit, learning what the feel of the ball off your hand so you can repeat spare shooting. And as you can see, she takes her wrist brace off to shoot her spares. So that's another good thing for all the young players that are watching. You could try that in your practice sessions.
So far, every shot in the pocket by our 2 competitors. This week, they bowled on 7 different lane patterns, and they were tested on different lanes. None of the patterns were released. They'll be released after the event. But we saw short, we saw medium, we saw long, and pattern number 7 was the toughest pattern, and they had to bowl on that all through match play. A 200 game was a huge score. Today on our telecast, this is the 8th lane pattern that they have seen. And coming off of such a tough pattern prior to this one, a couple more boards is probably going to lead to high scores.
Yes, absolutely.
Leaves the 2-7, comes in a little bit light. What'd you see there?
You'll see Patricia playing a little bit further right than Morgan because Morgan has slower ball speed, but ball just went a little bit long down the lane. I mean, she just stone 9 down the left lane. Left lane could be hooking just a little bit more. I wasn't able to watch how many shots they threw on each lane, but it was close, so I think just a small move on this lane or just make sure to slow down your ball speed just a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's very uncharacteristic of the 2019 champion. We got a lot of lights here. We got a lot of fans. We've got a packed house here. Maybe a little bit of nerves.
Well, I think she used her strike ball for that, right? She was going to try to hook into it. Again, we just talked about what the lanes are. Left lane could be hooking just a little more. So, unfortunately, she probably needed to make a bigger move to shoot at that spare because the first shot went light. So, from those first 2 shots, the right lane does look a little bit tighter.
All right, gets back on the strike train there. Nice recovery shot by Patricia.
And I do think, Mike, no matter who you are, when you're on a telecast, there is a little bit of nerves. I mean, there's a lot at stake. You want to win, right? Everybody wants to win. So there is a little bit of nerves. You just have to know how to put everything into perspective and know that you need to take 1 shot at a time.
Morgan, in addition to bowling, enjoys outdoor sports. And she's also got a passion for coaching, and we'll talk about that after this shot. Little left to target on that one, leaves the 3-6-10.
Little left to target. It looked a little slow. And again, that's where you're going to see the comparison, but that was definitely left of target. You could see the ball just breaking at the end. She gets a break and leaves a 3-6-10. With that, where there is a hook spot on this pattern. So you need to make sure you do maintain your ball speed and not get too slow. But compared to Patricia, who has a lot of ball speed, she could actually get away with slowing it down just a little bit. She's also using a ball that gets down the lane a little bit further.
Lanes 35 and 36, our championship pair here at Expo Bowl. Slides past it, easy to do, going left to right on a flatter pattern. We got a pretty even match here through 3 frames. We talked about Morgan having a passion for coaching. She's been coaching bowlers the last couple of years, really enjoys it. And she told me beforehand that her dream job would be an NCAA women's head coach for bowling.
I think that's fantastic. I think we need more women's coaches, and I think there will be plenty of opportunities by the time she is done with her bowling career.
The 19-year-old is mature beyond her years, and just a little bit of time I spent with her, I was really impressed. Got to also talk to her mom and dad as well. Another great shot there.
Good shot, just coming in light pocket, leaving the flat 10. Or I should call that one really, it's a little bit more of a lazy 10 because of the way the pins. But if you're not going to strike, the key is to leave things that are spareable. So she'll change balls. She changes to a ball that goes a lot straighter, obviously a plastic ball to shoot at her spares, and takes her wristband off.
Nice conversion of the 10-pin. Also want to remind and let everybody know, in case you didn't know, that this is a true double elimination match play format. So our top seed, Brooke Roberts, who is practicing down on the practice pair right now, she will have to be defeated twice today if Morgan or Patricia want to take home this championship. They will have to defeat Brooke in back-to-back matches, one of the advantages of being the top seed.
And I agree with that. I've agreed with that all the years, even with the Masters and the USBC Queens. Oh, great shot. Another stone 9 on the other lane, but again, makes the adjustment. Looks like she moved just a little bit right, kept the ball in play. She keeps the ball. What I like about Patricia's game is because of her ball speed, she can actually get on top of a pattern and play it a little bit straighter. But if the pattern tends to break down and move in and you have to get around it, she can do that too, just because of her hand.
Flatter patterns this week, the players are going much straighter. Not trying to cover too many boards. This is a safer play. She covers the spare, but yeah, a lot of power. 2 9-pins we've seen already, and what's ironic about that is her favorite pro bowler is Dom Barrett. Loves the way that he conducts himself on the lanes, loves the way that he throws the ball, and she would like to one day be able to win at the highest level on the PWBA Tour, just like Dom has won on the PBA Tour.
Dom Barrett's a great bowler. I like to watch Dom Barrett bowl.
And so do I. I think many of us would like to model our games after Dom Barrett. Sends the messenger over, a lot of power.
So I think she's made very good shots. I think the ball is actually going a little bit too long. So at this point in the game, we're 5 frames in. She, to me, either needs to slow up her ball speed a little bit and stay right there in front of it, or go to a ball that's a little bit stronger.
It's interesting you talk about the bowling balls. They were only allowed to check in 5 bowling balls for this event. So you had to make wise choices on what 5 you were going to check in and be able to use throughout 8 different oil patterns. Not an easy task. So we got a 3-pin match here in our opening match. Glad you're joining us here on BowlTV. Once again, Mike Flanagan, Carolyn Doran-Ballard here with you. We're in Indianapolis at the Junior Gold Championships here at Expo Bowl. Got a great crowd here. Tremendous finalists. See if Morgan can get back on the strike train. Second time she's left the 3-6-10.
She gets through the ball very nice. I mean, she really does. Again, more of a traditional game. I think her ball speed is a little bit slow. If she wants to continue to play her A game, she's definitely going to have to make a move on this right lane.
The patterns here at Junior Gold are always a test and a challenge. It's never a score fest.
Patience is what I try to tell our kids. Patience. Be patient. You don't have to shoot 250 every game, because you know what? 250 may not be out there.
Throughout qualifying, Aaron Smith and I were on the call most of the time, along with Jason Thomas, who's producing here today. And we talked about strikes for show and spares for dough. In choice of either scholarship or cash in this case. All right, covers it up this time. That's got to feel good after missing it the first time, running past the 3-pin.
Absolutely. And again, if you see both ladies posting their shot and waiting till the ball hits the pins before they even get up from the foul line, that again is a testament to the leverage that they're using to create the power off their hand.
Yeah, and you'll see that on the under 20 boys match also that we'll have after our under 20 girls Stepladder here. You'll see the exact same thing. Collegiate programs, collegiate bowlers produce great fundamentals, as you said, and a great tip, like you just said. Stay down until the ball hits the pins. Those of you that are watching that are amateur bowlers or maybe youth bowlers aspiring to be better, that's a great tip and something that all these bowlers have in common. Tilts the 5 out and a 7 to fall.
Gets this ball a little bit further right than she did on the right lane. Comes in light and blows out the 5-7.
So we're all even here through 5 frames. Beautiful shot, a lot of power, sends the pins against the wall, and that was a no-doubter.
Patricia keeping the ball way out in front of her on this pattern, because as you mentioned, flatter patterns don't tend to give you very much area. As they break down or transition, obviously they change just a little bit where you may get a little bit of area left or right. But to start with, you know, they only had so many minutes of practice. So the lanes are going to continue to transition every time a ball gets down the lane.
All right, now we got some strikes coming. And one of the craziest things as well here that we didn't talk about is how many games these young athletes have had to bowl to get here. 26 games just through the qualifying rounds, and then going through that 2-game total pinfall bracket. We're approaching 40 games here for each one of these athletes in just a span of 3 days.
Right, that's a lot of games in a short span. You know what I mean? I think 40, 50 games is not a lot of games when you're doing it over 4 or 5 days, but when you're doing one in 3, it's a lot. And you know what? And we don't talk about it enough. It also weighs on you mentally. It's not so much the physical part. Sometimes you're more tired mentally than you are physically.
Much better shot on the right lane. Gave it a little more room, it looked like there.
That she made, I think she moved just a little bit left, and you are correct. She did not miss to the left. Got that ball just a little bit further right in the front. Right there. Great shot.
Even a little leg kick. Players are getting a little comfortable here under the lights. We had 61 players start the event. We are down to 3 now. Prize fund, $2,000 to first, $1,500 for second, $750 for third. A little bit high, but you know what? Still in the 1-3 pocket. Great shot, and now she's got a triple to show for it.
Definitely got this one a little left to target. You could see it was to the left of the rangefinder. She got it to the right of the rangefinder last shot, but got the trip 4. Actually, that was trip 4-7. That's, hey, that's when you know you're in the right ball, the right part of the lane, and you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. Can Patricia match? Yes, she can. A great performance here down the stretch.
And you could see she keeps that left arm in front of her for as long as possible. And again, I love those action shots that you get from the back when you see the ball hit the pins, because you can see that they're still down at the line. So we create power where? Legs. Legs. I ask that sometimes. I go, where do we create power? And, you know, I'm giving lessons. And I'll go, well, from your arm. I go, well, we're going to learn something new today.
Foundation frame. Well, the string of strikes comes to an end, a 5 count here. What did you see from Patricia on that ball?
I want to say she got it a little bit further right. I was Going to see if we could see a repeat shot. Sometimes I watch, you know what I mean? I miss it, but I think she got it just a little bit further right. And it did look a little bit harder. And I was going to say, you know, you're getting amped up. You're on 3 or 4 in a row, and you're lined up. You have to make sure to maintain that pace.
From my vantage point, it did look a little fast as well. So she can cover it up. So an open frame in the 9th frame opens the door for Morgan Nunn. Possible 196 for Patricia Rosales. Again, looking to be a repeat champion, Patricia. But Morgan Nunn now in a position here to control her own destiny.
Ninth frame, the foundation frame, set you up. Put yourself in good position to finish off that 10th.
That looked a little left off her hand, but it held pocket for flat
I actually
10.
don't think she got around that one as much, because you can see it still went to the right of the rangefinder and still hit half pocket. But of course, you know what? Like we talked about too, Mike, every time a ball goes down lane, lanes are changing, transitioning. So again, good shot. And at this point, all she has to do is fill frames, right? So I don't think it's anything drastic, but come that fill shot, would I throw a different ball? Probably, just to try.
Does exactly what she needs to do. So a clean 10th frame here for Morgan Nunn, and she will move on to take on Brooke Roberts, our top seed.
I'm trying to figure out the score quickly.
Possible 196 for Patricia. 214
Needs to
for
mark.
Morgan. Yeah. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 10.
That looked like almost the identical shot that Patricia threw, this left lane. Remember we said when they started it looked like maybe the right lane was hooking a little more than the left lane? Definitely think this left lane does not have as much room off the spot down the lane as that right lane does. So again, this is spareable. She's going to hit to the left of the head pin, slide it over.
She's got to spare it to guarantee herself a win. Otherwise, Patricia Rosales can go up in the 10th frame and steal this one.
Got a chance. Oh, right in front of it. Great shot at that spare. Well, I say great shot at that split, even though it's the head pin.
Take a look
right
at
here.
it again.
Hits light on that head pin, but goes right in front of it and just lays in the gutter.
So very simple. Patricia Rosales must go up in the 10th frame and deliver a double and 5 to defeat Morgan Nunn and have a chance against Brooke Roberts.
You could see on that shot, she lifted up out of that shot just a little bit, got it right. Still a great week for Patricia. I expect we're going to see her back in the top 3 at Junior Gold again.
Defending champion made a nice run here this week. She's going to finish 3rd. She's going to take home $750 in her choice of scholarship, or prize money, depending on her NCAA collegiate rules. Congratulations on a fantastic week. And here in just a few moments, CDV is going to talk to our third place finisher. And we will be right back here on BowlTV with match number 2, our championship match. Brooke Roberts taking on Morgan Nunn.
Swimming in my head, I've been dreaming on the air, gotta follow what I know. Visions in the night, captivated by the light, I'm surrounded by the glow.
So I'm here with our third place finisher here in the U20 ladies division, Patricia Rosales. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few things. First off, phenomenal bowling game. Phenomenal. You're such a, I mean, you look like motionless when you're on the approach. But 2 stone 9 pins early in the game. So what were you thinking after you left the second one in the first 4 frames?
I had that all weekend. I mean, all week. But I was thinking, next shot, make sure I don't force it, just stay behind the ball. And, yeah, I mean.
Okay, that's all right. Well, you were the defending champion. You won last year. Did you feel any added pressure coming into today? What was your game plan and what was your mindset?
I did feel pressure, but the whole week I felt pressure. But going into the second advancers round, I said, everybody has to bowl me. So they're already nervous bowling me, so why would I be nervous? I'm only have to bowl myself. It's just me in the lane. I have to have good chemistry with the lane this week. So that's all I was thinking. I was trying not to put pressure on myself, but I kind of did when I got here.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Okay, so in the 9th frame, did not throw one of your best shots. So what happened on that? Was it more mental? You looked like you got a little quick. Just kind of talk about that frame because that really was setting you up for the 10th frame.
Yes. I was trying to breathe. It was like really hard to do. But Yeah, I was trying to take my time, but I was rushing because I had adrenaline, and I was like, like, whenever I get too quick, I'm too excited. So I had to make sure I slow myself down, but I didn't do it in the 10th frame. So I was left with a 2:10 to end my week.
Well, that's okay though. So let me ask you this quickly. So you feel, and this is a great. I always try to take lessons away that our young athletes watching can take from all of you who are now mentors for them. So you said you were just trying to breathe, and you rushed a little bit. So how important to you is your pre-shot routine on getting you focused?
It's very important. Without it, you're all over the place. You don't know where to think. But when you have your pre-shot routine, you just focus on the moment, not what you did before or what's going to happen in the future. You just think about the moment, and you have to breathe, make sure rosin, if you use it, air, wipe your shoe, like your pre-shot routine, make sure it's yourself, feel calm. Make sure you feel calm when you walk onto the lane.
That's a great tip. Make sure you feel calm getting on the lanes. Well, you had a great week here, and we look forward to seeing you back on the TV show next year. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Back to you, Mike. I'll see you in a few.
Thank you very much, CDB. Thank you. Patricia Rosales, she's a bright star, and I predict she will probably go on to have quite a career on the PWBA tour if she chooses to do so. You could see she was a little upset with her performance, wanted to win pretty badly here. But now we move our attention to our championship match. Morgan Nunn taking on Brooke Roberts. We've got a lot to talk to you about Brooke. Looks like Morgan is going to start the match. Brooke has the ability to choose whether or not Morgan starts or finishes the match.
The U20 girls division. Starting our match, our winner of match number 1 from Oklahoma City, Morgan Nunn.
Mike, I loved the interview where Patricia talked about the pre-shot routine and how important it is, not only for those important shots, but for every shot.
Absolutely, and everybody has a great pre-shot routine here in our finals. So here we are, championship match, 2021 Junior Gold Championships here in Indy. Morgan Nunn starts it out. And that left lane, we continue to see trickiness down the lane.
And we called it from the beginning. It just looked tighter than that right lane. So again, we talked about flatter patterns, not much area to the right, especially if you get the ball to the right early. So a couple of things she's going to do. She moved left on this right lane. On flatter patterns, just you could move your eyes in just a little bit, keep your angles just a little bit straighter. Or again, maybe she makes that move to the left and she goes with the stronger ball.
She's going to make a decision pretty soon on that. Okay, so just gets to an open frame. Not what she was looking to do to get started here, but she does have a little bit of comfort here on the championship pair.
TV finals. From Port Orange, Florida, Brooke Roberts.
All right, there's the introduction for Brooke Roberts. On our pregame show that we had, we talked a little bit about how Brooke flies underneath the radar. She does go to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. She was the MEAC Rookie of the Year, 2019 and 20. She also finished third twice in her high school nationals back home in Florida, and she also won the high school state in her senior year.
Looked like she was ready to throw that shot, didn't she?
Absolutely. Makes a statement right out of the get-go.
Has a very traditional game from point A to point B, but again, great leverage, and off her hand has such smooth, and I'm gonna make this my own word together, smooth off her hand, which creates such good axis rotation. I mean, she does not grab it at all. Of course, I probably just jinxed her now, but.
Well, I asked her, I said, what was your key to success here? And she said, I take a deep breath in the moment, and I have positive self-talk at all times, no matter what happens.
Another great tip.
Crosses over, gets the break. We did see quite a bit of that during the match play because the pattern was just so difficult. You miss just a little bit left, and you're going Brooklyn.
And that's what I'm saying. This left lane could be the key lane as to having to make those good shots. It seems like everybody's just a little bit more lined up on the right lane or can get to the head pin just a little easier, more so than that left lane.
And Brooke had lane choice. She chose to finish on that left lane. Interesting.
I always pay attention to that, how they choose it, you know, the leader or, you know, the person who's getting that choice. I wonder if they watch the match to see what the other opponent is doing.
That's way left. Just not a good executed shot there by Morgan. She'd like to have that one back.
A lot of the ladies doing those practice swings to keep the arm not only loose, but just, again, about feel.
Getting that muscle memory going.
Correct.
Again, this is a true double elimination. Morgan will have to defeat Brooke in 2 games. She would need to win this game and then another to take home the title. Okay, nice spare.
Much better shot by Morgan, and honestly, that spare right there could give her an idea of what to do on that lane because it was a straight shot. So she needs to remember what she did because that was a very good shot.
Morgan was inspired to start bowling by her dad and her grandpa. They both had a passion for bowling. 5 years ago, her grandfather, Gene, passed away, and they set up a foundation where they do fundraising, and they actually took 12 folks to the ITRC to improve their bowling game, and she has such a passion for coaching. So a great story as they mourn the loss 5 years later of Gene Dunn, who inspired her to go bowling.
She made the move on that left lane. You could see she's a little bit deeper. Still, I think she has to continue to follow that transition. And here's where, again, it may be more of that making that move left, and you may have to keep your eyes just now on that as you're moving left with the hook. You might have to keep your eyes aboard right. But again, it's not about throwing it to the spot. It's about rolling it off your hand so that it's smooth with that transition. Not a lot of area on this pattern at all.
While she takes a second to reset, I do want to also remind everybody that Junior Team USA is at stake here. And now Morgan Nunn and Brooke Roberts will join Team USA and earn spots by their finish here. Junior Team USA in 2022. They will join Mabel Cummins, Jenna Williams, Caroline Theisier, and Jordan Munt, who qualified through their 26 games of qualifying. So pretty cool. Junior Team USA.
Very cool.
So Morgan has yet to strike, and Brooke is perfect through 2 early frames here. A little bit right, but I was impressed with the recovery off the end of the pattern.
Got that ball right and further down the lane. Remember how we talked about how you need to get a little right in the front part of the lane? She got this one way down the lane to the right. But again, her softer ball speed allowed that ball to pick up and hit the 1-3. If I use this, you know, terminology because I try to keep it simple where, you know, don't like to talk over, you know, there's no reason for all the technical sometimes, but it's more about smoother motions, smoother ball paths on flatter patterns. You're not looking to overhook the ball.
Absolutely.
Great spare.
We reserve that for our league shots and our 7-to-1 ratios and more.
Can you make me feel better about myself? Because I'm a terrible league bowler. And my teammates will tell you so.
Brooke is 20 years old. She's been bowling since she's been 4 years old. She also likes to draw.
A lot of artists are bowlers.
Yeah,
Artsy.
Dasha comes to mind.
Yeah, and there's a few that, you know, even just dabble in it. Very artsy minds. Catches another Brooklyn there on that left lane. Just both ladies having a little bit of a hard time on that left lane again. I think it's just that big move, or the other option is to play it like Patricia did. Now Patricia just stayed a little bit more in front of it and upped her ball speed, right? So that there wasn't much movement of the ball. Point A to point B, right? That's all we need to do.
So now Morgan's going to have to get something going here.
I like having the tracers down lane. See how far right of the tracer that ball got? Watch this here. That second tracer, so you got to the right of the tracer. The better shots have been to the left of that tracer. That's where, when we were talking about getting the ball too far down the lane, the ball is not recovering as much. Now, Brooke's ball did. She has a little more axis rotation, soft ball speed, so it actually read the end of the pattern.
You see a lot of celebrities in the crowd. Tremendous group of youth bowlers. See Mabel Cummins back there.
Jordan Malott.
So now an open frame, 51 in the fourth. Morgan is in a situation here where she needs to get calm, get collected, go back to what she knows she can do, and start putting some strikes up on the board. Otherwise, this one's going to be over pretty quick. Other finishers this week as well. Fourth, Lauren Tomaszewski. Tied for fifth, Caitlin Orasek and Carolyn Theiser. And tied for seventh, Mabel Cummins and Jenna Williams. If you'd like to see all of the standings for this event and all of the Junior Gold Championships, you can head over to bowl.com.
Leaves another 3-6, going just a little high. At this point, after she makes the spare, with it going into, now we'll be moving into the sixth frame, depending on what Brooke does, she will have to make the big decision. I either need to up my ball speed, I need to chase it left. Needs to do something different because she's not hitting the 1-3 consistently.
Yeah, she's lost her ball reaction here on the championship pair. I agree with you 100%. Needs to sit down, think about it, regroup, and do something different.
And everybody does it. Again, this is the championship match. You have some nerves, right? You're thinking, you know, I want to win because everybody wants to win. So you just have to kind of put those nerves aside and know I have a job to do first. And then we can think about all of that later.
This match isn't over because we know that Brooke on the left lane has gone Brooklyn
Right.
twice on the left lane.
Correct.
So she has not got a good ball reaction on the left lane. Neither player does.
No, I think the left lane is going to be, the left lane is going to be the deciding factor on when you have to get up to make shots to lead you into that next frame.
Before I forget as well, I want to just point out this jersey that she is wearing. She looks like she is ready for battle on the lanes.
Is that a Star Trek thing, or I'm not Star Trek, Star Wars, right? My kid would kill me.
Well, she's been perfect on the right lane.
She took full advantage right here of that Brooklyn on the left lane. Great shot again. Mike, see that tracer? Keep it around that tracer or board left of it. ball has been nice motion off the end of the pattern.
I love her balance at the line.
All the ladies have great balance at the line. If you even watch the PWBA tour, everybody balance at the line. They watch their ball go through the pins. That's how you start to learn ball motion, is just watching what your ball's doing going through the pins.
Well, she made an adjustment. She probably liked that shot better than her last 2 shots on that lane, but a worse result.
I actually think that shot was a lot better. I agree with you. She definitely made the move, but it wasn't big enough. Now, this is what I always teach the kids. You're on a strike. Get 2. They don't want to listen to me.
Well, I think she heard you.
She listened.
2 is 4 in that situation.
That's correct.
Okay, 123 in the 6th for Brooke. She still has a max score of 243, really big score. Morgan Nunn can still bowl 221. It's a tall task at this point, but let's see what she can do here on this right lane. We'll see if she makes that adjustment.
I did not think that was that bad of a shot.
I didn't
really
either.
did not. I thought she kept it pretty far in front of her. Like, look at this. Kept it right around that. I mean, it's a little right of the tracer, but it was not that bad of a shot. But at the end of this pattern, it is not forgiving at all.
Well, there's 3 things you have to do to be a consistent top-level bowler. You have to have consistent ball speed, consistent targeting, and consistent release. And on that shot, it looked like to me might have been a tad fast and a little bit of a miss at the bottom because I thought her targeting was just about where we wanted it. So more struggles for Morgan. She's now staring at 76th in the 6th. Still going through her pre-shot routine.
Just because you're not scoring the way you want, kind of like what Patricia said, maintain your pre-shot routine because it puts you in your mental focus, your state of mind. And once you get on the approach, you don't want to be thinking about anything. You want to do all of your thinking and everything before you step on that approach. So that's just what she is doing.
Got to keep the mental game strong no matter what's happening out there on the scoreboard.
Made a bigger move on that left lane. Again, I don't think she really got around that one, but I got to tell you, I don't mind that shot. 2-pin, spareable, and she can play off of that shot because it finally, the ball got down the lane and didn't, wasn't so sharp off the pattern.
It's a 47-pin advantage for Brooke Roberts through 6 frames. Morgan's going to need some help. The next 2 frames, in my opinion, are going to determine who is going to win this match.
I agree. If Brooke gets up and at least marks in the next 2 frames, it does put a little more pressure on Morgan and obviously gives Brooke the advantage. And I believe she's going into the 8th. Is she going into the 8th frame?
7.
I'm sorry. I didn't even look up. Oh my gosh. Right. Looks like a good shot.
Another strike on the right lane for Brooke.
Great shot off her hand. Nice, smooth. Look at off her hand. Just she never grabs it. Rotates around it with those fingers. Gets a thumb out pretty fast.
Using a symmetrical bowling ball, real even rolling ball. Again, the players could only bring 5 balls to the event. 5 balls is all you could use. And again, 8 oil patterns. That's a lot of oil patterns.
Mm-hmm. Definitely move deeper on this shot. Oh, wow. What
that
a
was
great
a great
shot.
adjustment. Yep.
Yes. Moved much deeper. Look at this into about, I think, around 20, even 22. Oh, ball just 4-9. But again, she's making the right move. When she gets up on that lane again, make another move, throw it the same way.
Morgan can max out at 186.
Whoa.
Oh.
Right in front of the 9.
Almost threw it too good. Look at this.
Hits right where she's supposed to. Right in front of the 9. But she was on a strike. She got 1.
So Brooke's going at a 191 pace to set up the drama here. And Morgan can strike out for 186. So Morgan's in a must-strike situation.
I was just going to say that these next 2 frames, she must strike to start putting some pressure. She changed balls.
Yep, ball change here. Nothing to lose.
Mm-mm.
Ball never really had a chance to get to the right.
No, she missed left of target. As you can see, look, it's way left of that rangefinder. That ball is going to hook a little bit more on the back end, so she makes the spare. I would make a bigger, at this point, she's in a much must-strike situation, so make the spare, and I'd make a big move on the left lane and see what happens.
Okay, covers the spare. Max score now 175. Which would mean Brooke would need a mark in 2 frames. Throw a strike here and sit down and see what happens, like you say, CDB.
Correct.
Total prize fund here in the girls division, $18,100. You may have noticed USBC came out with a press release a few weeks ago. There's over $200,000 in added prize money from unallocated smart funds in this year's entire Junior Gold Championships. Oh, such
Much
a
better
great shot.
That was a good ball change. I think she just needed to move a little bit more on the right lane, but great move on this left lane. Comes in half pocket, leaves a 7. Definitely made the right ball change. Maybe a few frames too late.
As a fan, I almost wish Morgan was the top seed so we could see how that ball would work for a full game in a match number 2 here for our championship. But
And I'm going to beg to differ with you. I think Brooke's just thrilled to death.
I think she is too.
And if I were bowling, I would be too.
All right, covers the spare. All right, Brooke Roberts, this is your moment. Needs 14 pins in the 9th and 10th frame, and she will be the 2021 under 20 girls champion. And she's been perfect on this right lane. Okay. You hear the crowd react. You look at the replay here. More of the same out of Brooke Roberts on the right lane. Packs them 10 flush, not a pin left on the deck.
The only shot I believe she did not strike on that right lane, if I'm not mistaken, is when she left the 2-8, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Almost perfect on the right lane.
Mm-hmm. She was perfect. She made the 2-8, so she didn't open on the right lane.
And again, she's got that positive self-talk. Well, that's enough, and you hear it from the crowd. Your 2021 Junior Gold Under 20 champion in the girls division, Brooke Roberts. She's a great spare shooter in my notes here. It's what she told me. And now she gets to celebrate this championship with her mom and dad. Don and Andrea are both here. And you know, CDB, this is her 7th junior gold. And she's never made it past the final advancers round or even into the final advancers round. So this was a big hurdle for her this year.
Great confidence booster, too, going into her collegiate season.
She's probably happy to be done with that left lane. Congratulations again to Brooke Roberts, your champion, and a great tournament by Morgan Nunn, your 2nd place finisher. Again, $2,000 goes to Brooke and $1,500 goes to Morgan for her 2nd place finish. We do have A2 pin setters here. Wouldn't it be something if she could bounce a pin out here? If we were on GSX machines, I wouldn't have said that, but let's see if we can get a pin to bounce. Ball got in the way.
And let's hear it for our 2021 U20 Girls Division Champion, Brooke Roberts. Fans, we'll let you stay with us for just a moment while we prepare for our U20 boys final.
So I am here with Brooke Roberts, our U20 Girls Division champion. Okay, Brooke, I want to start immediately with this game that you bowled. First of all, I think you bowled a phenomenal game. You know, you marked every time on the right lane. Everyone was a strike except for the 2-8. But tell us a little bit about that left lane that seemed to give all of the bowlers a little trouble.
Well, all weekend I've been having trouble with the left lane. Either I pull it or I just don't trust it enough. And so I've been trying to tell myself before every shot to try and trust it and wait on it, because I do have problems with waiting on it as well. But yeah, the left lane was definitely challenging. It was significantly, usually tighter than, so this was different. It was moving a lot more than over on the other side.
And you have focused on positive self-talk. And I love that, because with all the young athletes that are watching, tell them, how do you stay in the moment and how do you keep yourself so positive?
I just try to tell myself that I am good enough and I can do this, and I just say, you got this, and I just leave the past frame behind me and I stay in the frame myself and just work on trying to trust it and stay happy with where I'm at. So.
Well, it's obviously worked, because you have not performed at Junior Gold the way you want, right? You've never made it right. We talked a little bit about that. And here you are in the finals, bowling a phenomenal game on tough condition. So what are your goals for next year?
Well, this was my last year in Junior Gold.
Funny, I keep forgetting. You look like you're 12.
Yeah, this is my last year, so it's really great to go out with a win my last year. So I hope to bring that later in my future with other big tournaments like this.
Well, what are some of your goals for college?
Definitely bowl well in college. That's definitely my main goal. I just want to stay. I just want to stay in the moment with them, and hopefully we can bring home a national championship next year.
Well, I hope to see you on TV bowling for that championship. Great tournament here at the U20 Junior Gold, and enjoy your victory.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mike.
Okay, I'm here with 19-year-old Morgan Nunn. Great performance today. I know you didn't get the win like you wanted to, but tell us a little bit about just your thoughts coming off the lanes.
Right, my first game I went out there and I just competed. I was loose, I was comfortable, and I went into the second game and it just didn't go my way. I didn't throw good shots, and when I did, they didn't carry. So, and I take responsibility for that, but I'm glad with the way I finished. I've never done good at this tournament either, so coming this far was really good for me. I wanted to be on a platform, and I wanted to just bowl good and show everybody who I am and who I can be. So.
Yeah, well, you bowled great at this event. Obviously, there can only be one winner.
Right.
There's 61 or 60 bowlers that don't get to hold the trophy. But you got to bowl underneath the lights and in an environment with a bunch of fans cheering for you and everything. How did that feel for you?
It was amazing. My team and I go to Indiana Tech, and we won the national championship, but we couldn't have spectators. So this was my first time having fans and stuff like that. So it was great. I thought I was going to be a lot more nervous than I was, but having everybody just kind of brought everything to life. So I was really thankful for that.
That's cool. Yeah, you have a great pre-shot routine, and we talked a little bit ahead of time. We got to know each other a little bit. You have a passion for coaching.
I do.
So what would you maybe say to yourself after your performance today as a coach?
I needed to go in with a different mindset. I had kind of a wonky mindset for the second game. I needed to go in, and I just needed to go through the process. That was my main thing all week, was go through the process, take it shot by shot, don't focus on the end of the tournament, just take it shot by shot. And I did that today, so that's all I can do.
Yeah, you made a ball change about halfway through that last game, and CDB and I were talking about that. If you're seeing the same thing happening and you can't throw strikes, you got to make a ball change. The thought behind that the same?
Yes, I was throwing my axiom solid, and I kind of saw it. I wasn't really making good shots with it, but when I did, I kind of saw it skid, and you saw it wash out a couple times, and off of those shots, I was like, that was a pretty good shot, and if it's not doing what I want, then I'd rather just change to something that I think might do better, and I think my Zen did. That's what I switched to, but I think I just should have switched a little bit earlier.
Okay. Last couple questions for you here. I want to talk about family.
Yeah.
What's it like having your mom and dad here? I saw your mom was pretty emotional.
Yeah.
You were telling her to stop crying.
Oh, yeah. My mom and my coach and my dad, they were all here, and I'm so thankful for that because, they weren't able to be when we won the NAI National Championship, so having them here to watch me was pretty amazing.
We as a country have gone through a lot over the last year and a half or so, and I also want to talk about your grandpa.
Yeah.
And the foundation that you guys have set up.
Right.
Tell the folks at home a little bit about what you guys do.
So my parents, they set up a Nunn Memorial Foundation in my grandfather's name. He passed away about 6 years ago. and they basically go through the SGT tour, which Dickie Ward and Raylan Nimmo run in Oklahoma, and it goes around 5 states. So they raise money and they award 2 scholarships a year to 2 different individuals, and they also send 12 kids to the ITRC for top-notch coaching. So having that has really helped the kids succeed in their game, has helped them be able to get more scholarship money. So I'm really thankful for that, and we need more things like that, so I'm really thankful that they were passionate enough to do it.
Well, thank you and your family
Thank you so much
for all you do for bowling. You're a bright star in the sport, on and off the lanes, and I wish you all the success in the future.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, welcome back here in the booth. What a great show we just had there, and I'll tell you what, Morgan, she's a bright spot in bowling on and off the lanes, as I said. So here's our programming update for you all. We are going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to stay on the air, and we're going to have a wide shot of what's going on here behind the scenes, getting ready for the under 20 boys finals coming up here on BowlTV. CDV and I will be back to preview that championship final, and then we will bring you the final here from Expo Bowl here in Indianapolis. Just want to give a shout out to everybody here on BowlTV for watching and being a subscriber. We certainly do appreciate your support of bowling. Also, you do want to stick around. We are going to be giving away a Storm bowling ball during that pregame, so we will be doing that. CDV and I will organize and orchestrate that with the help of Aaron Smith. So we'll be back here in just a little bit, everybody. Hang tight. Go grab yourself a beverage or something to eat, because we've got another great telecast coming up for you here in just about 10 minutes.
Swimming in my head, I've been dreaming on the air, gotta follow what I know. Visions in the night, captivated by the light, I'm surrounded by the
Welcome back to the Junior Gold Championships. Mike Flanagan and CDB here with you, and we just got done seeing Brooke Roberts win the under 20 girls, and what a great show we had. But we've got the under 20 boys now coming up here for you. And our number 3 seed won last year, looking to defend, Alec Keplinger. What do you know about Alec?
Alec comes from a bowling family. His mother, Sandra Jo Shirey, is a multiple winner on the PWBA tour, and let me tell you, if he is anything like his mother, repeating and striking is not a problem. And you're going to see he will be the power player on this telecast. So it's going to be interesting to see how he attacks the lanes compared to watching the ladies.
Yeah, and he's coming off a Wichita State victory, a second in the singles, so no stranger to television, and he should be very comfortable on this championship pair. Our number 2 seed, a bit of a Cinderella story. He was a number 15 seed coming into the bracket, and his name is Tristin Davis.
Now, the amazing thing about Tristin is, remember I talk about all the different forms that you see out here, all different styles. Tristin is one that's going to be playing further right, and he will have, in my opinion, he will have the easiest time keeping the ball in the 1-3 pocket. Whether he carries or not, of course, is another story, but great spare shooter. So, again, you're going to see 3 different styles.
He's a quirky guy, and I can't wait to see him compete out on the lanes. And our number 1 seed, kind of arguably the highest decorated player we have, and kind of the favorite coming into this, is Cameron Crowe, Team USA member, goes to St. Ambrose, and he's actually the roommate of Alex.
Yes, which is kind of funny. You know, you say, oh, who do you room with? And it's like, oh, you're both superstars. Oh, great, you know. But it's wonderful to see these collegiate players room together and help build each other up instead of tearing each other down. So that's pretty awesome. Our only lefty on the telecast for both the ladies and the men. So that gives you 2 things. He's either going to have the whole lane to himself, and he's going to choose where he wants to play, and he just needs to execute, or he's going to see no transition, very little transition, I should say. So it could be a little difficult on that left side, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, and he's been dealing with that. He's the only left-hander that made match play as well, so another nugget for you. But, folks, here's what we're going to do here on BowlTV. We're going to show a promo of one of Storm's new bowling balls coming out, and we're going to give you the opportunity to win any Storm bowling ball of your choice when we come back here, and then we'll have our championship finals right here on BowlTV.
Swimming in my head, I've been dreaming on the air, gotta follow what I know. Visions in the night, captivated by the light, I'm surrounded by the glow.
All right, boys, this is it. This is what we worked for all season. This is what it comes down to. This is the hard work we put in, day out. We show it on the lanes. We show it at practice. We show it here.
Worked all season for this. This is our time to shine. Make good shots and great things will happen.
One dream, one vision, one goal.
We're going to show the whole nation what we're here to do.
Everybody, we said we were going to give away a Storm bowling ball, so now is the time where we're going to have that opportunity for you to win that Storm bowling ball. So if you do not have your screen minimized, you're going to need to do that. Go down and select Submit Entry. There's going to be a countdown here for just a few moments, and you're going to have an opportunity to win a bowling ball from our great friends, a great partner at Storm Bowling Products. So make sure you do that here on BowlTV, a chance to pick up any Storm ball you want. What a great deal.
And I always put this out there too. If anyone ever has any questions about any of the balls that we give away on BowlTV, please feel free to reach out. You can always find me on Facebook and I can help you with maybe a ball that fits your arsenal.
Oh, wow. That's super cool of you to do.
And you get to talk to me.
There you go.
Oh, my gosh. Added bonus.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a note and find out how I need to drill my bowling ball, CDV. I didn't even know that was available, and I've got you on my cell phone. All right, it looks like everybody's ready to go here, and we're going to get started with our championship final. In our first match, Alec Keplinger, 20 years old.
Introducing our first competitor, the 2019 U20 Junior Gold Champion, Alec Keplinger.
Much better job on the intro than I could have done there. Alec Keplinger, 20 years old, goes to Wichita State University, the team champions from this year. He was also the runner-up at the Intercollegiate Singles Championship, and also your 2019 U20 Boys Champion. This guy has done it all and has come out of the contenders bracket to make the show as the number 3 seed. Great opening shot, runs over the rack, but leaves the 7.
Great shot, playing the lanes. Now, in practice, I watched him. He played in, was kind of doing what the women were doing. Further left, not trying to get it too far right. And now I believe he's using urethane, and he's moved right to keep that ball in play. Much more predictable, much more smooth off the pattern. This could be a great choice for Alec.
Yeah, we've seen urethane work well in today's modern game. And yeah, he's definitely got urethane in his hand. Fast pitch, I believe it is, from Storm. Now let's intro our number 2 seed.
Well, his name is Tristin.
Tristin Davis, 19 years old, goes to Emmanuel College.
Little bit of an unconventional style, playing much straighter and further right than Alec is. Right here, gets that ball way right, a 5 out to about the 2 board. Definitely not any hook out there, but again, I think that could be nerves.
I like the strategy here. Needs to tighten up his angle a little open there.
And he did do that in practice. I watched him throw some of his practice shots. He was keeping the ball way in front of him, just kept scooting to the right, almost a right to left type of shot.
Okay, gets that first shot out of the way here on our telecast. Alec again is 20, Tristin 19 years old. Tristin's been bowling since he's been 9 or 10 years old, he told me. And you know who his favorite bowler is?
Mike Flanagan.
Oh, I wish. I'm pretty close to this guy, though. Josh Blanchard.
Josh, very good
is his
bowler.
favorite bowler, loves the way that he conducts himself on the lanes, and loves the way he bowls.
Much better shot.
Yeah, he should be proud of that shot.
Almost off the 7-10.
Yeah, I don't know whether to call that a break or misfortune.
It's a break. It's a break. There's that tracer, right? Right to the right of the tracer, straight, almost going right to left, like I mentioned. But yes, well, 7-pin's a lot easier to make than the 7-10, so I would take that as a break.
Covers it up. Hey, let's give a shout out to our BowlTV community watching right now. And we got that bowling ball winner, Todd Hansen. Congratulations on taking home that Storm bowling ball of choice. Our team, our marketing team will get in touch with you in the next couple of days, and we will get that bowling ball of choice out to you. Again, thanks to Storm Products for sponsoring that giveaway. Nice lane level shot there. Can't throw it any better than that.
Great shot by Alec. And if you watch this replay from the back,
keeps that hand way behind the ball. Again, using urethane, letting it roll off the palm. Again, flatter pattern. Mike, you mentioned it earlier. They don't know what they're bowling on. This is another new pattern, but as we know, tough conditions here at Junior Gold, and they're basically flatter in the front, so there's not a lot of area. So what should be the key? What do I have to do, and what do I have to use to keep the ball in the pocket and make the spares?
It'll be interesting to see if the left lane has any different characteristics similar to what we had in our U20 girls match.
Well, both of the boys are playing. It's funny, I call them ladies and I call them boys. Should I call them men?
That's been kind of a.
I want to be politically correct.
That's been a hot topic this week.
It is. I'm going to call them men. But they are definitely playing further right than the ladies did. So it will be interesting to see because the breakdown will be different. Also with Alec using urethane, a lot of times with urethane, we know the back ends get a little bit tighter.
See if Alec can make a better shot here on the right lane. He's got a couple of frames underneath his belt here now.
Mike, you're going to have to stop stepping on the wire. You're pulling my ear. Much better shot.
Messenger comes in front of the 10 pin on that shot. Take a look at the replay again here.
Hitting
Much
about
more
8,
online.
9, absolutely. Just slightly right of that tracer. Pin goes right in front of the 10 pin. But again, we talked about the tougher conditions. He's doing the right thing. He now, first shot to me was all about nerves, being on a TV show. Those last 2 shots, angles were much better. Rolled it off his hand. Ball is reacting to the pattern. Now it's just basically slowing up your ball speed to get it to read just a little bit, or maybe he just moves his feet, keeps his eyes the same, because again, he doesn't want to give away to the pocket. He wants to keep it in front.
Tristin was the number 15 seed. We talked about him being a bit of a Cinderella story here, but he surrounds himself with some very accomplished bowling people. Coach Doug O'Brien, you may know Coach Doug O'Brien, Annalise O'Brien's father, and he practices with Annalise all the time, who's had a lot of success at Junior Gold.
Another good shot. Actually, those last 3 shots have looked identical, just coming in just a little light again. All I would do, I don't want to change his angle one bit. Just maybe move his feet, or again, if he likes to change ball speed, just get it to read just a little sooner.
Yeah, he's made some really nice shots here, recovering from that errant first shot. And a great spare shooter. He told me that was his key, was just picking spares. This is the best he's ever bowled in a tournament.
Well, you don't make it to the top 3 at Junior Gold if you're not a good spare shooter. And honestly, if you can't repeat and keep the ball in play.
Oh, Alec is looking lined in here, and I was just thinking to myself, you know, he's covering more boards with urethane than anybody we had on the girls' show.
Well, it's funny, Alec and Tristin are actually playing the lanes very similar and using 2 different types of balls, right? One is urethane, one is reactive. So they're both going to look different going down the lane. The one thing with urethane is it does tend to hook early. So again, it's early, and it's going to give you that smooth reaction off the back of the pattern, and you won't have to manipulate your hand that much.
He didn't like it.
Missed left, but it's urethane, so what did it do?
It held pocket.
Exactly. Right here, missed way left. As you can see, he almost hits right over the tracer, gets to about 9 and leaves. That's a second stone 7.
Yeah, it sure is. He started the match with a stone 7 on the same lane. It looks like he's re-drilled that ball also.
Here's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess he was looking for that ball, couldn't find it anywhere. Someone had one, and they gave it to him to re-drill.
Yeah, you know, it's been tough sourcing products here in the last year or so.
Tough sourcing everything.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bowling bags. My goodness.
Yeah, I can't wait until we're back to normal.
This isn't normal?
And I know all of our manufacturing friends out there feel the exact same way.
I agree.
Hey, shout out to everybody in the bowling community that owns, operates bowling centers, pro shops, or the manufacturers. Way to do the best job you could the past year and a half or so. Kudos to all of you.
Another good shot.
All right. Gets on the board, his first strike. And you know, I'm listening to the crowd. I think he's got a little bit of a cheering
right
section
here. Keeps it way in front of him, playing about that 8, 9, out to about 7. I'm telling you, those light hits stay right there in about 3 frames. Going to be high flush.
If you want to stay up to date on everything happening at this event and all USBC events, make sure you go follow the USBC on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of great content there, a lot of behind-the-scenes footage. If you're a fan of bowling, make sure you follow all those accounts. Beautiful ball. And that one finished up.
Seemed to slow down his speed just a little bit, still keeping it. Playing both lanes almost identical. And that ball just hooked up in the perfect spot. Now, I believe the ladies told me they had the left lane a little tighter. The right lane was the one that hooked more. This is looking where the left lane might be hooking up just a little bit more, but they also are playing them differently. Oh my goodness. I mean, I had to say, oh my goodness, because that's just, I mean, 2 stone 7s and a stone 9. Missed, I mean, he's keeping it in front of him, but definitely was a little left of his target, but still, I mean, just, I hate to say this, but it's a bad break.
Yeah, a lot of power.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, if you look at his score, he really should have them all.
He should.
Stone 7, stone 7, stone 9.
He really likes this fast pitch bowling ball. I do remember watching the ISC run that he made where he finished second. He used this ball primarily, and ironically, he actually lost in the title match when he switched to reactive. Lanes were changing, needed to make a ball change, and finish second.
Blows the rack on that left lane. I mean, just great shot making by Alec, and he's got such a traditional style, but such power. Again, using his legs, great leverage. Soft hand used with that urethane ball. Just he's using a soft hand.
I've got 2 players that come to mind that these two kind of resemble from the 90s. And I don't want the fans to blow me up on Twitter on these analysis, but
blow them up. Go ahead.
Tristin reminds me a little bit of Tim Chris.
Tim Chris, a little bit. Tim had a little bit different ball roll, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
The demeanor and
definitely,
and the tempo to the line.
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And Alec reminds me of Brian Goebel.
Could be a little bit, sure. Again, though, different ball roll,
Yeah.
but yes. Another good shot by Tristin. See, Tristin and Alec are doing what you're supposed to do at junior gold. Hitting the pocket when, well, Alec hasn't carried the way his ball should have, I guess. But you're supposed to just hit the pocket, stay clean, take your 180s, 190s, and move on.
Yeah, he got it going left to right all right, but just a little bit of inside of target. And
yep, and just fan this one a little left.
Bowling is a game of inches.
Yeah, a couple on the right, couple on the left, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So max score here for Tristin now 214. Alec going at a 199 pace.
He actually missed left and got around the side of that one just a little bit more than he has been. Leaves the 3-6-10.
It's now a max score of 204.
Not out of it yet.
Nice spare conversion. That's a much harder spare than the 10 pin is. So 2 opens for Tristin. Now Alec here has an opportunity to pretty much take control of the match.
Big shot here.
He's
Big
been
shot.
splitting boards. He's been making great shots.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he has missed in, it's held pocket. It's got a hook. Right of that rangefinder down lane, it looked like to me.
Just a little bit. Angle is so important in those shots. When we show the replay, you can see the angle difference. The better shots are the ones that are more in front of you, and if you have any angle at all, remember we talked about this, on the flatter patterns, it's a little bit more in the front of part of the lane, not down the lane, because it just doesn't read the pattern. Also with urethane, hit or miss, right?
Yep. And your miss is definitely left with urethane, not right. Well, we've got ourselves a match here. Max score of 207 now for Alec, 204 for Tristin.
3-pin match.
2 frames left.
Foundation frame. This is the one my dad growing up always used to say, okay, foundation frame, because he always felt, you know, it's the shot that sets you up.
It sure does.
Mentally and physically.
Especially in a format like this where Alec will sit down and be able to determine his fate by watching his opponent. Oh,
wow.
We
Oh
almost
my
saw another
goodness.
9-pin there.
Wow.
See Rick Steelsmith
Right
back
here,
there.
great shot. He's moved a little bit left on that lane. Still, though, great direction. Wow, he almost left another 9-pin. Oh, my gosh. I tell you, I would have just, my head would have spun on that one. So the 9th frame and the first one and the 10th for Tristin. Big shots.
Got a hook, got a hook. He got it.
Left the 10-pin on this lane. Last shot, missing it just a little left. Got this one a little right, but it reads right at the end. Let me tell you, I think the shakers are a better hit.
That pin action right there reminds me
Oh, dear.
of my favorite female bowler from the 90s.
Oh, boy.
That 4, 5, 7, shaking around and dancing.
Yep.
Of course, the Hall of Famer sitting next to me, Carolyn Dorn-Ballard.
Thank you,
Made that
Mike.
shot quite famous. Won a lot of money with that shot.
Yes, thank you. Great shot by Tristin.
As Randy Peterson would say, kid's got some moxie.
Got some moxie. Playing a little bit further left than on the right lane. Again, hitting down with that rangefinder, hitting about 9 down lane. Great shot. Actually think he looks like he's throwing it a little bit harder on the left lane. But that could be the angle too.
Yeah, and all good bowlers too. When they get
Great
to the
shot.
when they get to the bottom of the swing, sometimes when their timing's a little off, they can make that slight adjustment with their muscle memory, and maybe he's a little bit off at the bottom. And he's just throwing a little bit harder.
Another good shot. Ooh, going just a little bit high. 3-6-10.
That one picked up a little early.
Yep, we've seen that leave. You know, it just seems every time someone is going high, it's either 3-6, a 3-6-10, some combination. Just a little bit left off his hand, but I thought he threw it pretty good. Pressure situation, needs the spare.
He can finish with 191. He'll force Alex to have to go up in the 10th frame and deliver the first strike. Nice performance by the French fry man. And I say that because as he was bowling through all of match play, he was wearing a jersey with French fries all over it, an inside joke with his bowling team. He wanted to give a shout out to his buddies that he bowls with, and I wanted to make sure I did that for him. The French fry man.
I wonder what French fries are his favorite.
You and I can discuss that maybe after the match.
That's
our
correct.
own favorite French fry. It's a big debate. Here we go, 10th frame. Gotta have the first one.
Wow. Got it just a little bit left, and I think he knew it off his hand, but urethane not going to hook very much. Look at that. Way left. That's okay. High flush. Hey, sometimes being more direct, right?
Still needs to avoid disaster here. Needs count.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. After 2 solid 7s and a solid 9, shows up in the 10th frame and didn't execute the first shot the way that he wanted, but because of the way he's playing the lanes, he was able to capitalize, create a little room for himself, and Alec is going to move on to bowl for the title, and we have a chance at a title defense here. It's going to be 2-time consecutive champion, but he's going to have to defeat Cameron Crowe twice, his roommate, this week.
Changing balls on the fill just to see.
Little tester
Moving
shot.
in. Yep.
Yeah. He knows he might be here for a couple of matches. Congratulations to Tristin Davis on finishing 3rd.
Once
A
again,
nice
let's
performance.
give a big round of applause to our 3rd place finisher, Tristin Davis. In just a few moments, we will begin our championship match.
And we're going to step away for a moment. CDB is going to interview Tristin, and we'll be right back here on BowlTV.
I'm swimming in my head. I've been dreaming on the air. Gotta follow what I know. Visions in the night.
Doug, and Doug is your coach, right? Yeah, so we'll talk.
All right. All right, boys, this is it. This is what we worked for all season. This is what it comes down to. This is a hard work we put in, day out. We show it on the lanes. We show it at practice. We show it here.
Worked all season for this. This is our time to shine. Make good shots and great things will happen.
One dream, one vision, one goal.
We're going to show the whole nation what we're here to do.
I am here with Tristin Davis, who will finish third at this year's U20 men's division at Junior Gold. Tristin, great bowling this week. So let's talk a little bit about this final match. You qualified, I believe you came from 15th to make the telecast today. So what was your mindset to get you to this point, coming all the way up the ladder from 15th?
Well, when we started, I figured out that the pattern was pretty flat, so I figured scores would be pretty low. So I decided to focus mostly on my spare shooting, and I just wanted to stay clean through every match, just kind of get a double here and there, and just kind of hope that the pins fell my way.
Well, when we watched you bowl, you had a great shot to the pocket. You were playing a little bit further right, which I thought was a very smart move. What were some of your moves this week? Did you change balls a lot, or did you work with your speed control, or move more on the lane?
It was kind of a little bit of everything. One of the patterns, you had to be very soft with it. You had to let it kind of control to the pocket. Other times you had to kind of throw it pretty fast with a usually stronger ball. I did switch around balls a lot. I mainly used the Phase 2 and Halo throughout the entire week because those are my favorite balls. But other than that, yeah, you just had to kind of understand how to make adjustments. Do you need to change? Do you need to change balls? Do you need to change where you're standing? All that kind of stuff.
Well, we know you work with Doug O'Brien, whose daughter, Annalise, is a phenomenal bowler. So tell us a little bit about your practice routine and how did you prepare to come to Junior Gold this year?
I usually try to practice at least twice a week, and one of these practices I'll usually work on spares a little bit. Other times I'll work on standing in part of the lanes where I'm not as comfortable. I know with my rev rate I'm usually not as comfortable standing far left, so I'll usually focus on that more. Whenever I'm with him, we're usually focusing a lot on my form. I've been working on my backswing, my ball roll more. I know I have a bit of a strange roll, but that's okay. I would not be here today standing talking to you if it was not for Doug, so.
Saying thank you. Well, that's excellent. I think you did a great job. You kept the ball in play. You did everything you were supposed to do here at Junior Gold. Congratulations to you. We look forward to seeing you in your college year coming up. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. I cannot say enough great things about Tristin Davis. And I'll tell you what, folks, hope you're enjoying this telecast here. We're going to have a great one for you. The roommates, Cameron Crowe and Alec Keplinger, are coming up. Just want to reiterate to everybody tonight's prize fund, $22.50 for the winner, $1,500 for second, and Tristin takes home $1,250. Greatest scholarship opportunities here with $200,000 added money from Smart here at this year's Junior Gold Championships from unclaimed prize money in the past, scholarships, and this tournament, the entire Junior Gold Championships this year, has over $500,000, $500,000. And here's a word from USBC about college scholarship opportunities. All right, here we are, championship match time. Don't forget, Cameron Crowe will have to be defeated twice should we need an extra game. Alec Keplinger, our 2019 champion, looking to repeat. These guys are roommates. It doesn't get any better than this lefty-righty matchup. Also, a little bit of a revenge factor here, Carolyn. Wichita State defeated St. Ambrose. And Cameron Crowe bowls for St. Ambrose, and Alec bowls for Wichita State.
Right. St. Ambrose, I'm going to tell you, they have done such a great job with recruiting over the last 3 to 5 years. Their team has just gotten stronger and stronger, and I know at the college level, even though it was many years ago, just watching so many of these athletes,
And
there
we're ready
is
for our
that, there
U20
is that,
boys championship match. Our
that,
first competitor
that
from
competitive,
Roland Park,
our school
Illinois,
against
Cameron
your school
Crowe.
type thing. Even though off the lanes, everyone gets along and they're friends, which is what we did also. But when you're on the lanes, there is that, we want to prove that we're the better school.
Absolutely. Here we go, opening shot. Cameron Crowe elects to start the match on the left lane.
Great come out shots. He is using, I believe he's using urethane, but I'm going to double check that. Playing
And winner of
obviously
match number
further
one
left on the
from
flatter
Coldwater, Michigan,
pattern. I
Alec
swear,
Keplinger.
I'm flubbing some of my words today. I don't understand why. My goodness. I'm so excited here. And in choosing lane, to me, Alec had a good shot on both lanes. So if I were Cameron, I would have chosen to finish on the lane that I liked better, which I believe he did.
Which would be the right lane. Alec picks up right where he left off in match number 1.
Tried a different ball on his fill shot, moved deeper, but went right back to the urethane, moved back to the right. Again, getting that light hit, just rolling it off his hand, staying behind it for as long as possible, very predictable.
Also a junior team USA note here, since Crowe already earned a spot through qualifying the top 4 qualifiers. Michael Marmalello will get a spot on the team due to finishing 5th after 26 games of qualifying.
Got that one just a little right, and he knew it off his hand. Right here, you'll see it get out to about 3-4. Barely hits the head pin and gets a pin from the back to trip the 2.
And to finish that Team USA note, with that win in the first match, Alec Keplinger now a member of Junior Team USA. Other players originally earning qualifying spots were Cameron Crowe, Tyrell Ingalls, William Clark, and Brett Lloyd. Looks like we're waiting on something here. It also gives me an opportunity. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. Also gives me an opportunity to talk about other top finishers this week. Jaron Kurashige finished 4th, tied for 5th, Michael Marmalello and Connor Lackey, and tied for 7th, Jeremy Keneally and Charles Bostic. And all of that coverage was right here on BowlTV with Aaron Smith, Jason Thomas, and myself on the call. Well, this is a rare sighting. Special shout out to Zach for clearing our deadwood. If Jeff Goodger's watching today, he'll probably make a video out of this if he asks for permission from the United States Bowling Congress. He's a big fan of the deadwood. All right, action back underway. Back to business. Cameron Crowe up in the second frame, looking to match his opponent with a double. Playing right on the edge of the lane, flirting with the gutter.
No play on the left side, fresh pattern, using urethane. He shook his head after he let that go, showing that he really didn't care for that shot. I thought it was pretty good. Maybe just a little hard, you know what I mean? Just a little fast. Leaves the ring 7.
I'll tell you what, if he can feel that being a bad shot, Alec might be in some big trouble here. Because that looked perfect to me. Cameron averaged 218 through all of qualifying. And then when that pattern number 7 was thrown at these bowlers, and he was the only southpaw in the field that made it into match play, his average went down quite a bit. And I was even borderline critical of the way that he was bowling when I was calling the action on BowlTV, winning matches with 360, 350. But today he looks like he is completely locked in, and he's lined up on this pattern.
Tell you, when the patterns are tough, 2 games, again, we talked about, you don't look to shoot 450 all the time. I mean, it's about filling frames. Comes in just a little light, but with all that power, blows the rack. You see more of the men, even at the collegiate level, using more urethane now, especially on flatter patterns. They're able to manage the pocket more consistently. Not only that, what I also noticed too is they're able to use it also as their spare ball. So it allows them to have another ball in their bag.
Another strike by Alec, and you can hear that one run over the holes. It was thumping going down the lane.
Another good shot by Alec. Comes in half pocket, but gets them all. It's another thing I talk to our youth bowlers about. You know, they'll look at a shot like that and go, that wasn't that great. I'm like, well, first off, you got 10. That's first. Second of all, they all don't have to be high flush. Like, every shot doesn't have to be high flush. You know what I mean? It's just not the way. It's impossible, first of all.
It is.
So. Oh, look at that, almost the 4-5.
Yes, almost
Holy
the
cow.
4-5, folks. And we call that here on BowlTV the Aaron Smith. Shout out to Aaron Smith, who's helping us with this production today. Look at the 4-5 fall out late.
I know how to make the 4-5, though. Like I had my eyes closed.
I've seen you make it many times.
Cameron's going to need to start putting some together here. Alec doesn't look like he's given any room. Oh, look at that shaker 7. I mean, 6.
It was almost just like the shot we saw before,
exactly.
but reversed.
Right here it comes in.
Watch
half
that
pocket.
6-pin.
Look it. Ooh, yes.
Boom. Almost like at a carnival where you got to throw the softball at the bottles. I was going to start calling out all the celebrities in the crowd, and then I realized our broadcast would run long. Got a USBC president.
USBC Hall of Famers.
We got some original entries into the Junior Gold back in 1998 are here with their kids.
It is the battle of the urethane balls with a lot of ball speed right here. Two-hander against the traditional bowler. Playing the twig, like I like to call it. And it's high flush.
You got the left-hander, right-hander debate here, too. We've got it all right here in this match.
Another good shot. Oh, God, that's such a great shot. I just seen how up the back of it he is, off his hand. Leaves the flat 10, which happens,
yep.
But it's spareable.
With urethane, it does. Would you have ever thought that you'd be calling a match in 2021 with kids and that they'd be throwing urethane?
No, I tell that to Dell all the time.
I said, I can't believe we're actually trying to increase our sales with urethane. I thought we were past that. But you know, like in anything, especially all sports, of course, the games change. You know, the oil they bowl on now, the lane surfaces change. There's so many things in the environment that reflect what you have to do out on the lanes. So many variables, and I'm not surprised to see it come back into play.
I was also talking to Alec before the match. He's also a big-time golfer. He's a 5 handicap, and he's actually playing in a tournament tomorrow, 36-hole tournament tomorrow.
Wow. That was a great shot. As you can see, we talk about this quite often on the PWBA tour. When that ball gets to the top, Alec just lets it drop from the top. There's no grab, allowing him to just get his elbow forward and just get it off his hand. So clean, so smooth. This is pretty direct. Gets his whole body into it.
Looked like he got around that one a little bit.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But with his ball speed, it doesn't, it doesn't hook up too soon. But yes, he definitely got around that one a little bit more.
Cameron is a huge sports fan. Not only does he like to follow sports, he also likes to play sports, loves to go out and play basketball, get out on the playground, shoot the ball around a little bit. Great athlete.
You could hear him at the foul line. He obviously didn't like that one. Remember, we just talked about how he got around the one on the right lane. On this one, it looked like he still got around it and missed a little right. Ball going just a little high, but gets a break.
Yeah, it gives Alec the lead in the match by just a pin here. And if you are just joining us here, we welcome you in to BowlTV. You're watching the championship match here between Cameron Crowe and Alec Keplinger. Remember, Cameron is the #1 seed, would have to be defeated twice. Max score for Cam, 258. Alec can still bowl 279. Pin action.
Look at that.
Hit them thin and watch them spin, is I believe the term.
That comes in, gets this one way right. Barely hits the head pin and knocks out the 4-8.
Gotta love these royal pin sidewalls. Alex started bowling at the age of 2 years old. His parents owned Midway Lanes in Coldwater, Michigan, his hometown. They actually sold it a few years ago to some really close personal friends of theirs. So 2 flat 10s in this match for Alec.
Still have a close match here. Next 2 shots, the 8th and 9th for Cameron. Big shots. Put some pressure back on Alec. cool is it, just because I am going to pick out a Hall of Famer, how cool is it that you're bowling for a college and you get to go back and talk to Rick Steele-Smith? I mean, really? Oh, my God. USBC Hall of Famer, USBC Masters champion. I mean, really? I mean, that is, you see some of these college coaches now, they're Kim Kearney, you know, PWBA champion. Just, it's amazing. It's amazing the talented coaches that are now passing on their knowledge.
Max scores 258 times 2.
Come on, ball.
Cameron Crowe's not going anywhere.
As you can see his foot go up in the air just a little bit. He gets all of that.
It's one of the great things about the sport of bowling. It doesn't matter how you execute your shots as long as you repeat your shots.
Correct. One size does not fit all. That one was a little light. I wasn't sure he liked that one at first. But again, that light hit this game has been magic. Look at this. Gets it way out there, and it just barely hits the head pin. And I don't even know what pin that was that hit the 10.
Let's look at our championship trophy. Winner will receive.
Big shot for Alec here.
Inside.
Got that one left, but it held. Right here. Just gets that one way in compared to the last one where we got the light hit.
The way his ball is getting through the front part of the lane is phenomenal.
Great example of, for people who are traditional bowlers, what I mean by that is you put your thumb in the ball. You do not have to grab it to make it hook. Get that thumb out and it's all off the hand, right? And make sure your elbow's doing the right thing. He said you could see by his hand gesture he dead got around that one. I jinxed him just as I said, oh, he's not grabbing it. He just kind of got around that one just a little too soon.
Definitely a little grabby with that one, but on a strike.
And as you can see, with urethane, when it does hit the dry, it does tend to hook early. So he just needs to make the spare. And if he strikes, I believe we can we have a tie?
Oh. Oh.
Well.
Okay. Take a look at this again.
He slipped. He looks like he slipped at the foul line and just barely touches the 6, which goes around the 10.
Okay, here's the scoreboard. 226. Keplinger is done with 226.
197. Let's see.
A mark?
A mark, correct.
Needs a mark. 9 out would be a tie.
He missed that one at the bottom. As you can see, ball went down the lane a lot further. I think that's all adrenaline. All adrenaline, got a little quick. You could see it off his hand, his reaction. He didn't quite
love it. Needs to make the spare.
It's got to make it, otherwise we're going to have another game. Deep breath. With that spare and just 2 pins, Cameron Crowe is going to be your 2021 Junior Gold Under 20 Men's Champion.
And I think he just said, oh my God.
They're roommates.
Great match.
They roomed together this week. They're very good friends. Cameron's buying dinner.
Another big congratulations to our U20 boys champion, Cameron Crowe.
What a great moment we have here at Expo Bowl. Carolyn Doran-Ballard is going to talk to Cameron Crowe.
I am here with Cameron Crowe, who just clinched the U20 men's division here at Junior Gold. First, let's just tell you, how do you feel?
This is crazy. I mean, this is a great run. This is a great tournament. I felt really confident coming in, but if you would have told me the end result is winning, I would have told you, oh my God, you're crazy. But wow, this is wild.
Well, you had to bowl one of your good friends and your roommate, I might add, right, Alec?
Yeah.
So tell us, everybody wants to know out there what it's like to have to go up against your roommate, because on the lanes it's all business, right?
Oh yeah, I mean we're really good friends outside of the bowling alley, and even in the bowling alley. But when we're facing each other, each of us want to win, and that's what we wanted to do. And he put up a great game, a great fight. Just unfortunately that he didn't get the hits, and unfortunately I was able to. And I mean, I'm always happy for him, I'm always rooting for him, but I'm just ecstatic, and I don't know. I mean, we're probably gonna go to the hot tub after this anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so you had to step up in the 10th frame and mark. What was going through your mind, and what did you think of that first shot that you threw when you left the spare?
There's a lot of stars in this building right now, but that was my moment to shine, and I was hoping that I would go up there and throw a quality shot. I threw it okay. Kind of threw it hard, just wiggled a little bit on me, but I left it makeable. And I was just telling myself, just take your time, make the spare, this is your moment. And fortunately enough, I made it, and here I am.
That's awesome. So now wait, before I let you go, I have to ask. So was this a little payback, St. Ambrosia, against Wichita State? I know it's terrible, isn't it? Because we got to have that rivalry going, because everybody wants the gun for Wichita State. So was this a little tiny bit?
I mean, you could say so in a way, but I mean, I want my brothers, I want my team to be here with me when I succeed, because I want us to succeed all together. So I mean, yes, I guess it's a small victory, but this is more of an individual victory for me. But everything I do, it involves St. Ambrose as well. But I think this is a little individual victory for me. But hopefully next year we'll actually beat them as a team.
I love your outlook. Well, congratulations, phenomenal bowling, and we will see you next year. Are you 20?
Yeah.
Oh my God, everybody looks like they're 12. What is this? I keep forgetting what everybody's age is. All right, well, best of luck in college.
Thank you so
Back
much.
to you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Carolyn Doran-Ballard. Congratulations again to Cameron Crowe. And I'm going to bring it back into the booth here. I'm here with Alec Keplinger, our runner-up finisher here. What'd you think of what happened out on the lanes today? You had a really good look, but that 10th frame, what happened?
I was really fighting carry there at the end, so I was trying to get around the ball a little bit more and slow down, and I sent it right to the gutter where it bounced off, and then I went up to shoot the spare, and I had a little problem with the approaches all week, and yeah, I stuck a little bit, and yeah, we all saw what happened.
You had a lot of room out on the lanes with urethane. There were many shots that you missed in that you didn't like, that you struck on, and there were some shots that you executed perfectly where you didn't knock them all down. Talk a little bit about why urethane and what you were seeing from the lanes.
Yeah, so we were kind of seeing that the carry down was getting there pretty quick, and then my ball was losing surface. So all week it's been slow down with the urethane and move left, but we thought go right and get on top of it a little bit more for this match, and that's what I did. And I mean, I was able to run out a few strikes there at the end just until the 10th frame. So I'm pretty happy with the way that it was transitioning and the way I threw the ball.
Yeah, so last year you win the event, and this year, you know, you take on your roommate and your good friend Cameron Crowe. Talk about last year compared to this year and your experience.
Yeah, so this year was definitely different because I didn't have my family with me all week. Well, I did, but they were kind of on their vacation too. So this was one of my first long tournaments, except for the U.S. Open, stuff like that, where I'm by myself. So yeah, Cam and I were just hanging out together, and all week, yeah, pretty crazy.
Is he buying dinner?
Oh, he better be.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure of that. Another one for you here. We talked ahead of time. You like to play golf as well.
Yep.
You got a tournament coming up tomorrow. But we talked about what it is about bowling that you love so much.
I just love the personal aspect of it being the individual sport, but also being together with a team, because you can help or hurt your team by yourself. So you're all relying on other people, but you also have a big impact on what your team does and what you do for yourself.
Yeah, team bowling a big thing, and that's what I wanted to get to, because obviously you get that experience at Wichita State, and really cool. You know, the United States Bowling Congress has some Bowlers Journal team events they're going to be debuting here this fall. Maybe we'll see you in one of those.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That. Yep.
Any final words you'd like to say to the people that support you?
I just appreciate them all. I mean, my family, to just get here and be able to house me up in the hotel for the week, and they drove down, had a bunch of people come to watch the show, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And all of them.
Congratulations, man. You bowled great. You're going to have a heck of a career, whatever you choose to do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, so we're not done with Junior Gold here. Oh, no, 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 no. We're all the way here through July 17th. So let's take a look at what's in store at Junior Gold. Welcome back to Junior Gold. That's a wrap for our under 20 divisions.
It was unbelievable bowling. I loved the way the ladies attacked the lanes. Again, a little slow on making that move on the left lane, but Brooke really made the shots when she needed to. And my God, the championship match for the men were just, you know, strike, yes, no, flat 10, spare, we'll see. And I love when it comes down to the 10th frame.
Yeah, so do I. And powerful bowlers, and both of those players, I would say, can go on to do good things on the possibly the PBA Tour.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the talent level now that's coming out of Junior Gold and out of the collegiate ranks, they're so far ahead of where some of the pros were when they entered the tour. And I'm talking about even some of the younger ones, like 5 to 7 years ago. They just, the knowledge and the conditions they've been bowling on, the knowledge of the equipment, they know what 5 balls they're going to choose. Why are they choosing those 5 balls? They don't need to see the pattern. They're learning how to read ball motion. So they're so far ahead that the learning curve has now gotten smaller. And I expect great things from a lot of these
these ladies and gentlemen when they get out on the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure calling the action with you today, Carolyn, but we're just getting started this week. Even though our day is over here, we'll be back tomorrow here on BowlTV from the trade show from 10 to noon, and then 2 to 4 for a couple of shows. And then we've got the Rodman tournament, TMBA, coming up this weekend as well. You can watch on BowlTV. And then next week, we're going to have 17 streams for you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 4 different bowling centers. So it's been an incredible day, but it's going to be even a better all the way through the 17th here at the 2021 Junior Gold Championships. Hey, folks, this wouldn't be possible for Carolyn and I to bring in the action without the great team that we have here. I want to thank Jason Thomas for his production today, Andrew and Curtis working the cameras, everybody that was involved with helping set everything up here, as well as the entire staff here at Expo Bowl and all of the bowling centers that we are using this year for Junior Gold.
Absolutely.
Also, it would not be possible without the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC board, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America and the BPAA board as well, Kegel, the official lane maintenance supplier of the USBC, of course, Brunswick, Motive, Roto Grip and Storm, great manufacturer partners as well that support this event. Of course, the jerseys also. I Am Bowling, powered by Logo and Fusion, official jersey supplier of the Junior Gold Championships. We also want to thank the competitors.
Yes.
For having such a great platform, an amazing skill set to go out there and provide entertainment for all of us. Without them, none of this would be possible. And, of course, you, the BowlTV community, interacting in that chat, participating in our giveaways, and supporting bowling. By subscribing to BowlTV, you truly are supporting bowling. And I guess last but not least, I want to thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Mike.
And I want to thank everybody that helped put on this production. For everyone here, I am Mike Flanagan. We will see you tomorrow from the trade show at Junior Gold. Have a good day, everybody.